Hello, everybody, and welcome to this round of 10 playoff race here for the Daytona Cup Series, live right here on ESPN. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. In the booth with me is usually the guy who fills this seat, Sam Cooper Bennett. Sam, how are you doing this evening?
Doesn't say that we're live, by the way. No. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, yeah, to be a pain in the backside. Oh no. But yeah, we are here at Daytona. Going to be another fantastic race at this prestigious track, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what these guys have on offer. Obviously, last week we had a few connection issues. We've got them fixed this time. We have a he's going to be pushing the buttons for us tonight, but Frank, definitely looking forward to this one tonight.
So we have a fantastic racing. A little bit different.
I don't know. What do you think, Frank?
These cars are a little bit lighter, I believe. That they're a carbon composite body instead of an actual sheet metal body like you find on the Cup cars and the trucks. The spoiler is a little bit smaller. It's got a little bit of an arch to it. It doesn't span the entire back end of the car. So these are going to be handling a little bit differently. It could be a very crazy race to watch, but as we get in through this race, one thing that's going to be important to note is this is a playoff race. This is the championship 10. Last week, David Evick, who was in the 2 car this week, won the race, got him into the trade, got him into this round of 10. As the playoffs continue on, the pressure, I'm sure, has to amp up.
And with 6 being eliminated tonight, it's going to be absolutely on tenterhooks from the get-go. Definitely going to be looking forward to see who can come out on top. And with David Eamon coming out on top in the last round. And well, for next week.
He's drafting with James. As we've got about 2 vying, not necessarily paramount for these super speedway races, but definitely want to start towards the front.
Here we go. We've got about just under 3 minutes left in qualifying here, and it's the connection issues, but we have this right now. We've got this ready to rock and roll. I'm expecting a fantastic race here, Frank.
I would definitely expect one. A close race. There's going to be a lot of beating and banging, moving around. It's going to be a lot more, especially as we get towards the end of this. It's going to be a lot more take and a lot less give.
Yeah, as wait, my brain's not fully.
We got some time. We have 1 minute and 5 seconds left until qualifying starts. As we both mentioned, Jason White leading the practice session. Now, these are not necessarily the times that are going to be represented in qualifying. A lot of these are draft times, times where you're working in the pack. And for now, in this practice, it is really important to try to find your drafting partner and see who you want to work with. How would you?
What I would
Sam,
be doing is just laying back and just relaxing, because at the end of the day, the real race does not come until the last 5 or 10 laps of the race itself. And what you want to be doing is just relaxing, just making sure you stay on that track and stay in contention until that last 10 laps of the race. And then, of course, that's when all the gloves come off, and you pretty much put the pedal to the metal and see who can get out on top.
Without a doubt, as we're down to the final 5 seconds of this practice session, as we're about to get to qualifying. Only about 10 or 11 cars actually set a time in this practice session. I believe, doing a quick count, I believe we've got 19 drivers that are here on the entry list tonight.
That's a good number.
That's quick maths, and I believe I'm right on that. As we wait for the first guys to take track here at qualifying, I hear an engine going. It is of the number 5 of Dylan Basin.
Yep. As they get started on track, as we go to Dylan Basin. Yeah, he's just coming out of pit row right there in the number 5 Lowe's machine. Even though it says on time and scoring number 16, so he's got the wrong number on his car for a start. Well, we'll call him the number 5 for argument's sake, because he's the only number 5 out there, so that's okay. But he's starting down the back stretch, and let's see what sort of a benchmark he can put down on this one.
Yeah, definitely. And he's taking that high line, as you would expect. Longest way around the circuit. Yes, but it's also the best way to pick up as much speed as you possibly can to try to get that best time, as he's going to come across the line here to take the green flag for his first of 2 flying laps. We also do have a couple of other guys out on track right now. Felix Boucher. One of the 3, I'm sure they'll tell me. Jason White on track as well. Jaden Carter getting on circuit. Aaron McCormack also out on track. JP LaBerge. Just as a reminder, Sam, would you mind very much running through the 10 guys who are competing to be in that final 4 playoff spot?
Can very much so. Your top 10 in the playoff running for this one, as we head towards the race, and we're still watching Dylan Basin coming through turn 4. Your top drivers are David in finishing order from last week. David Emig, Wes Gallo, Josh Patterson, JP LaBerge, Donald Scala, and I don't know Donald Scala is there. Rob Carroll, Jaden Carter, Kevin Spencer, Paul Granata, and your 10th and final competitor in these playoffs is Ethan Workman.
As we see a couple of guys' times starting to trickle in now, you could tell the difference between the guys that took the outside line on the first lap and the guys that took the inside line on the first lap. There's a good 5 to 6 tenths difference. Is Dylan Basin running the inside line now on his second lap. David Emig, last week's winner, currently sat in P4 as we sit, Sam.
Yeah, just ahead of Paul Mulrain by about 5/1000th of a second. So very close times as Rob Carroll comes across the line. He's a 50.920. Dylan Basin to the top of the board.
Yeah, as you would, as we mentioned, being up at the top, it gives you that extra run. It gives you that extra oomph. As Wes Gallo moves to P2, Emig, where is David Emig? He's coming off.
Coming out of turn 4.
He's coming off of 4 right now, looking to set his time, as we're seeing times a good 3 seconds slower than what we were seeing in the draft there, Sam.
The third, though, for David Emig. Good time for him as he puts that car into the second row of the grid here. Poor times for Wes Gallo and Jason White. They were off the pace on that second lap. Rob Carroll moving up to Well, it was fourth, but now JP LeBurge up to fourth with a 50.294.
Yeah, if you look, Paul Mulrain and David Emig actually setting the same exact time at a 50.270 for the both of them. And because Mulrain set his time first, he will get the beneficiary of that second spot, as I believe Colby Wells is signing in right now. So we're getting up to 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 guys here in this field tonight. And I'm sure as we look through this field, these chase guys are really scattered all over the place. If you were a chase guy, you had mentioned that you just want to ride around, wait until the last 10 laps. But if you're one of these chase guys and you know you have to finish in the top 4 of those guys, that's got to put a little added pressure on you, especially if you're like Ethan Workman starting in the back.
Yeah, same for Josh Patterson as well. He did not take a qualifying time. Neither did Kevin Spencer. Neither did Donald Scala. Paul Granata. A lot of drivers there not in that chase pack, not taking times here. I wonder if they are trying to start from the back, try and keep it safe until it really matters, and then really push their way forward.
Yeah, that's a strategical play. We've seen a lot here at Daytona and at Talladega as guys will ride around in the back. So maybe these were guys that were planning on we're going to go to the back anyway. We may as well just stay here. But as the cars get ready to grid up here at Daytona, well, to the round of 4, which will start next week. Sam, would you happen to know what what cars they're running next week?
Are back in the Cup cars next season.
Yeah.
Next week, they decided not to run the trucks anymore because they seem to have a pretty bad time in them. So they are going back to the Cup cars in for the finale next week. And yeah, that's how they're going to finish things off. And one final race next week. Only 4 people can make it through. Who's going to make it through? We'll find out at the end of this one.
Yeah, and it's going to be a it's going to be a fantastic race. It's the tenseness is already starting to pick up here. We've got a minute, just a little bit less than a minute here before these cars roll off of the pit lane.
Let's go for the grid, shall we?
Huh?
Let's go for the grid.
Yes, actually, yes, definitely. Good idea. Let's go through the grid. Starting up front, it will be Basin setting his qualifying time at a 50.247. Paul Mulrain will be starting to his outside. David Emick, JP LeBurge will make up row 2. Row 3 will be Rob Carroll and Felix Boucher. Wes Gallo and Jason White will make up row 4. Art Milne and Brandon Fielder to make up row 5.
Row 6 will be Jaden Carter and Aaron McCormack. Row 7 will be Josh Patterson and Colby Wells. Row 8 will be Adam Needens and Kevin Spencer. Row 9 will be Paul Granata and Donald Scala, while bringing up the rear field on row 10, making it a field of 20 here, will be Ethan Workman, with a lot of work to do to make sure he gets into that final 4, and Jeff Vickery will be starting shotgun on the field.
Yeah, Jeff Vickery, what was it, 13 through 20, electing not to take part in qualifying as the field starts to roll off here for what will be the second to last race of this season, led by the number 5 of Dylan Basin, Paul Mulrain in the 55, running that Stuart Friesen inspired scheme. To the outside of him, and David Ebing and JP LeBurge starting in the second row here as the cars make their way through quarter number 2. Sam, any final thoughts before this race kicks off?
I am excited to see how these guys perform on the track. We were waiting in anticipation last week before the problems hit. Big thank you to Kevin Spencer for giving us the opportunity to broadcast this league. Really looking
yeah, definitely, and I am very excited as well. I was watching a little bit as we were waiting to try to get those technical difficulties last week sorted out, and it was a very good, very exciting, very close race. between these guys, and I would be expecting the exact same thing here today. Cars are starting to roll through turns 3 and 4. The pace truck now getting through turn number 4 as Dylan Basin will be the control car on the inside line with Paul Mulrain to his right. Pace truck makes the dive off. We are about ready to go here for this playoff round of 10. We're green here at Daytona.
Jogging into position, and they're trying to get themselves in line, trying to relax a little bit before they can get into this one. We've got one down on the apron down there, just trying to get into a rhythm here, and that's the best thing you can do at Daytona. Just get yourself into a rhythm, just sit back, enjoy the ride, and then when the final 10 laps is over, as I said at the start of the broadcast, that's when you're going to pull it.
It definitely is the 5 leads David Emig, last week's winner, through to lead the first lap. These cars are going to be jumping around, moving around. We've completed lap 1 of 50 here without incident, and these guys are trying to start working on the second line, but that second line just does not seem to want to build right now as the 18 is trying to come up to the back end of that 21 to try to help out that outside line. Cars moving around and shuffling around down the back straightaway. Still the first 5 cars are clear. Outside front row pole sitter sitting as still is the first car on that outside lane, as the outside lane now starting to make its way and starting to compile enough cars to try to make its way up to the front. That's the 21 sitting back there. First 5 cars, now 6 cars are clear. And Sam, which line would you prefer to be in, especially this early in the race?
I prefer to be on the bottom line. I mean, I wouldn't want to take a risk too early, so I'd stay anchored to that yellow line, just to run behind the guy and maybe save some track. 21's around, that's Jason White going through the infield. The 55 is in there as well. Green flag stays out though, but we've got 2 cars down already. Caution gets thrown by the league owner, Kevin Spencer. Didn't want to see that happen too early, so we have our first caution of the night here, Frank.
Yeah, and those were some pretty decent cars as we try to find the accident here. Just coming off of corner number 2, and they look like they just start the green. That actually looked like the 13, I believe that is. The yellow car tried to move up into that outside lane and just was not clear.
Yeah, it was the I believe if I can just pick out the number. They're moving a bit too fast for me.
Rob Carroll, I believe, was the one there that tried to move up.
23.
It's 23.
Yeah, 23 of Felix Boucher.
Okay.
Trying to move up a bit too quickly there, and unfortunately did not pay off there. And unfortunately, Jason White had to tow that car back, so he is on the back foot immediately. I don't think he is one of the chase contenders, so he is probably not going to be happy regardless, though, as he puts it on the hauler.
Yeah, no, of course, you definitely you don't want to be involved in a wreck, especially one on lap 3, as yes, Jason White has officially called it a day. He was stuck in that inside tire barrier, and now the question becomes 50 laps. I'm sure no pit stops are going to be coming here, but you never know. Would you be interested in coming down and maybe taking side tires or right side tires if you're further in the back of the field?
I mean, maybe right side tires, but because these guys use the new tire model, it's going to be difficult to predict how they will work unless they're up to of the temperature. But if it was the old tire model we were talking about, then yeah, probably take the right side tires and just keep on going. But with how unpredictable the tires are these days, I'd probably take 4 to take four and just carry on my merry way.
And the back half of the field has decided to come down pit road, and they are led by Jaden Carter in that black and red number 18. Pretty much everyone behind Jaden Carter deciding to come in, and Carter actually overslid his box. Actually, I'm surprised that Jason White would call it a night so early, because there is a fast repair
Yeah.
available to these guys. So I'm surprised that he would call it quits so early.
Yeah, this caution is going to be shorter as well, Frank. Let's not forget the new rules that came in the last build. Shorter cautions, only 3 laps around super speedways.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, it's not as much banter time for us, unfortunately, but a lot more action that we can give you. Also, we're getting word from race control that the 15 was given its first offense for that accident. I'm pretty. He might have been the one that came up. The 15 is Art Milne. He was given an end of the line penalty, first offense, and the number 55, which seems a little redundant now, has been given his first restart violation of the evening. So I'm pretty sure that's because he had beaten the 5 car to the line.
Absolutely, as we are experiencing a few lag issues on the stream right now, so please bear with us at the moment. Just having a few problems, probably with the overlay that's causing the issues right there, but we are working on it. We're trying to get on top of it as best as we can, so please just bear with us at this present moment. Just ironing out the kinks, as they say, Frank.
Yes, definitely. And it's something that's for a new broadcast team. Is definitely something that needs to be done as the cars start to double file up here, with last week's winner on the outside lane, with our pole sitter on the inside lane. And we do appreciate you bearing with us here through these technical issues through last week, and now unfortunately again this week, as these cars now start to head down the back straightaway, getting set to be turned loose once again. They will be coming down. Once they get to the line, they will be on lap 7, so 6 laps in the books here at Daytona for this round of 10 race.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We are racing once again here at Daytona as they head off towards turn 1 again, and we go again here, Frank, to see if they can try and get themselves into a rhythm this time. We've got a few damaged cars at the back, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem as we venture on into this one.
You know what else wouldn't be too bad a problem is if I was not in replay. That would also help, I'm sure.
Good job, good job I'm switched on then, isn't it?
At least one of us is paying attention to what's going on. As Dylan Basin goes down the back straightaway, he's got JP LaBerge on his back bumper. The number 2 of David Emig to the outside, followed by the number 4 of Rob Carroll on the outside line here as we get set to complete lap number 7, as LaBerge tries to go to the outside, and unfortunately now he's stuck in the sucker hole down in the middle there.
Yep, as we are 3 wide for the lead here, coming towards the line, and this is probably a bit too early. Well, not towards the line, towards turn 1, but probably a bit too early to be forcing an issue like that. But here we go. That is Emig being pushed to the outside, and that is JP LaBerge going to make his way up to the outside to the front of the outside row. I can't speak, I promise. As Dylan Bason's still doing a fantastic job of leading this thing, but here comes LaBerge. Doesn't have the space right now, but he might have it coming through the trailway here, Frank.
Yeah, he's got Wes Gallo, him being Dylan Basin pronouns, pal. The number 43 now behind the number 5 at JP LaBerge. You were 100% right. Is going to lead that lap with last week's winner, David Emig, pushing him on. I'm actually really surprised that he was able to get up through turn number 1 and actually make it to the outside in front of the 2 as the 4 gets a little squirrely, seeing as though LeBurge didn't have any drafting help in the middle. He was able to actually advance position and get to the front of that outside lane.
Did have a slight push from David Emig though, but that kind of helped him, but not too much help. I think he only had that. I think Rob Carroll was a bit too far back. We've got the 43 of Wes Gallo down there, just pushing the living daylights out of Dylan Basin, but all for naught as LeBurge does lead them out of turn 4. So it's getting very sketchy early on. We're only on lap 11 now. They've just gone over to lap 11. No, lap 10. Oh my god.
We're
Anyway,
almost
we're
there.
just going over to lap 10. But we are getting very sketchy early on. And I know this is just a 50 lap race, and I know that it's effectively a sprint race when it comes to things like this, but you kind of need to relax a little bit, even though it is such a short race.
Yeah, and you're thinking if you want to equate this, we've got 20 cars, well now 19 with the departure of Jason White, but 19 cars as Dylan Basin gets the lead again in 50 laps. This is essentially, if you want to equate it to real life, this is essentially one of the Gatorade duels here at Daytona. There's the 2 of Emig getting to the lead with Rob Carroll in the 4 pushing him. The 23 pushing as well on that outside line.
Clear. Now it's clear.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was close from Emig, and you're going to have to make those close moves as this race wears on. And Emig now is actually going to get pushed to the middle here as
Like a hole.
the 4 of Carroll. My goodness, where did he come from?
I told you he was there.
Oh, no, but he was on the.
Sorry, Frank. As always,
There they go.
But there goes.
It was the 43, 24s involved,
around.
and the caution will fly.
And that one started with Adam Needens, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Number 24.
Yeah, he was the 3rd car in that outside lane, was the 24, and heavy front end damage on the 15 from somewhere.
Yeah,
As we'll get to a replay here in a second. As just coming out of turn number 4, guys started to get, as you mentioned, they were getting a little crazy, and this is unfortunately what happens when guys do get crazy.
I think at the moment we're just going to mute the mics a minute, just go to a quick commercial break because we've just got a few issues that we need to iron out here, Frank.
All right, yes. So we will take a quick break and we will be right back here with the Daytona Cup Series. We welcome you back here to Daytona as we get set to go restarting here after a couple of pit stops. JP LeBurge is in the lead and he is going to lead us down to the restart here on lap number 15 with Rob Carroll, pardon me, on the outside to 23. Goes from the outside to the inside as these pit stops, some guys deciding to come in, others not, really shuffling up the field here, Sam.
They're getting ready to go here. JP LeBurge hits the lap pedal. We are racing once again. Rob Carroll on the outside doesn't get the best restart in the world, and that's the 23 of Felix Boucher right behind him. Boucher going through the middle already and changing lanes very quickly. Very aggressive lane change there by the 23 as they come flying through turns 1 and 2.
They're 3 and 4 right now, actually. So I believe.
I'm not
you
lying.
made the same mistake. I just.
I did the same thing as you.
I promise we are a lot more composed than what we actually are right now.
And even if the screen keeps freezing, we're still getting a good radio show.
As JP LeBurge, David Emig, and the number 23, that is Felix Boucher, on the inside. Those guys have cleared the rest of the field, as well as our pole sitter, the number 5 of Dylan Basin, as the number 99 of Jeff Vickery. Haven't talked about him much. He's leading that outside lane right now.
Jeff Vickery started shotgun on the field as well, so good to see him all the way up there in P4. Biggest mover so far, made up 16 positions already in this race, and we're only about to tick over to lap 17 here, Frank.
Yeah, it's been a big move for him, as definitely as we continue to see cars now starting to shuffle. Rob Carroll, the 16 of Dylan Basin, the 23, thought about going up, was up for a second, then came back down, leaving the 5 to fend for himself on the outside to pull up Jeff Vickery and company. As we see also up here, look at P4 right there on the inside line. That's the 24 who was just involved in that last accident, as well as the 43, the 8, and the 15. Who are also involved. Obviously, their fast repairs used as they head off of corner number 4. That outside line now not getting as much action after we had that last incident, Sam.
Yeah, Needham's using a fast repair and getting himself back up there. No surprise there. I mean, they do have that fast repair for a reason, as Emig gets pushed almost below the yellow line there, going into turns 1 and 2. Very scary moment there for the 2, but going back to Adam Needham's, I've seen him race before. He's very talented, and any advantage he can give himself to get himself back up there, whether it be I don't know, a lucky dog or a fast repair, he will use it to get himself back up there and race as clean as possible.
I think you could also add move to the outside line on that list in front of the 5. Is now the 24 of Needham's now leading the outside line. The 23 sliding up, trying to break that momentum. But that 5 we know is very quick, and he is moving that 24 up to the front and dragging the 99 and the 37 with him, as that outside line now starting to form up, as now they're pretty much even as far as cars go, Sam.
Absolutely, pretty much, and there's a bit of a gap forming between the Burger King car back there, and I believe there's got one blinking back there as well. I didn't quite see who that is. Jeff Vickery on the outside. I'm trying to see who that is. That's Ethan Wertman. There's another one that's worked his way back up from the back of the field. A bit of separation between him and Wes Gallo. We've got 2 separate packs forming here, but here comes Wertman now, trying to get a bit of draft off the back of the 43 as they come through the tri-oval. So the gap's starting to close up again here, Frank, as they start lap number 20.
And it's important for Workman in that 37 to be up there, because he is one of those chase contenders. Got to finish in the top. Got to finish in the top 4 of the chase contenders if you want to move on to the championship race in the Cup cars here next week. As Needham's in that 24 starting to gain some ground. He's basically even with that 124 on the inside of JP LeBurge as we head into corner number 3. David Emig, second car on the inside lane, the 23, the 4 and the 8, the 5 cars on the bottom, as it seems now We mentioned a couple laps ago, the outside line didn't seem to be the lane to go in. Now, a majority of the field is up on that outside line.
They made their way for the trial. Well, I was just focusing on Aaron McCormack there, having a few problems back there. He might have had a spin or just been in pit road, but he's going very slowly around the track. Not really sure. I was in pit. It was according to my producer, he was in pit road, so that's why. But it's still going very slowly around the track there, Frank.
Yeah, we saw in qualifying these cars in the draft are about 3 seconds quicker than what they were in qualifying. So the pack is definitely the way to go, as you can see. As you can see that car right now. On screen is you're hearing. This car sounds a little flat to you, Sam, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
It sounds very flat to me. It's not the best at all. He's obviously got some underlying damage there that's preventing him. I mean, on your own, you should be doing it like 170, 180 miles per hour. The maximum he's getting out of that is 153 miles per hour. That is a badly sounding engine right there.
Yeah, no, he can't be happy. But back to the front here, JP LeBurge in the 124 has moved to the outside lane, and that has given David Emig the chance now to fight for the lead with Felix Boucher behind him. The 24 of Adam Needon still sitting there in P2 on the outside lane. We got the 5 of Dylan Basin, the winner last race, up at the front. And ooh, a nice little move there from the the 18. He was sliding up and almost hit the wall there, managed to keep it going straight.
As it looks like LeBurge has the speed coming down the backstretch here. He's going to have that big push there from Needens. Is he going to go by himself, or is he going to try and take Needens with him? There's your answer right there. LeBurge just leaving Needens out to dry, as Needens only has to rely on the 5 of Dylan Basin to try and push him back to the front again.
Yeah, we've seen in Daytona races in years past, in real life and here, those guys that you leave hanging out to dry, they do remember that and are a little bit more hesitant to help you later on in the race. As
they're coming up on lap traffic.
Yeah, they are. That is Art Milne there in the 15. I believe he started. That must have been a different car that I was thinking of. He started P9. Yeah, he started P9 on the grid, and they're also coming up to the guy who started second in the 55 of Paul Moraine. He's damaged from that first wreck. About to, oh, a big save from David Emig on the inside line there. Sam, how did he manage that as they're still moving around back there?
Pure skill. He got a bit of a bad push there from Boucher as they made their way through the corner and somehow had enough room to get up there and keep the car in a straight line, but still sitting in P4 right now, really able to hold on there. He's got to be thankful that they had that room up there to try and save it.
Yeah, they scattered the rest of the field as well. They all collectively scattered, let off, broke apart to allow that 2 to make the save. And he's still up there in second place as if nothing happened with Needens right in front of him as the 24 of Needens goes to the point here, and he will lead as we cross halfway. Lap 26 about to begin of 50.
I would have thought that when he was involved in that wreck a few laps ago. He's managed to make his way to the front very quickly and now has the clear out in front. Can Emig do something to get around him? And a good recovery from Emig as well from that incident as well after that bad push from Boucher. Up to second again. LeBurge trying to stay in line. Carroll is now on the outside line, doesn't have any help, so he's going to drop to the inside line. And here comes Scala to the outside line now.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving around here, and I would have assumed that 4 of Carroll was about to go to the outside. He's been running the outside line pretty much the entirety of this race. As one of the guys who did lose out big time from that incident with Emig a couple of laps ago was the 5. He has fallen back. He's the second car in that outside lane, right around, I believe that would be P7 right now. is the 16th Dylan Basin. As we see him on board, trying to work with that 23, and the 8 comes up to pick them up. And I don't think Boucher in the 23 was having any of it, as here comes the 4 of Carroll, trying to actually might have been just trying to block off that run there, Sam, as he now retreats back to the inside line.
And that's probably the best thing for him, to go back to that inside line, get back in the draft and get back up to speed again. But it's going to be a bit of cat and mouse from this point onwards. We are past halfway, and we are getting to that point where people are going to have to think about trying to make those moves forward once we get to the end of the race, and how they can pull it off effectively. We know what Daytona is like. We know how you have to pick those runs perfectly. Otherwise, you're just going to end up in the catch fence.
I had misspoken before. It was the 37 of Fielder. And the reason why I'm correcting that is because here comes Brandon Workman in the Burger King 42 car. He is the 4th car on that outside lane. So this is really the first time we're seeing Workman now up here at the front. He's been hanging back there, trying to stay safe, trying to keep his car around for the end. As I believe that's the 2 of Emig. Has taken the lead as he goes up to the outside lane to work with the 23. And I'll tell you what, that's how quick the 23 and the 5 are, Sam, as they work their way right up to the front of that field. There were 5 cars clear on the inside line, and now they're up fighting for second side by side.
I'm the only one that's disturbed by the fact that Workman's driving the number 42 and it's got Burger King on it instead of McDonald's.
You know, I mean, I prefer Burger King personally, but I can see what you're getting at.
With car is sponsored by McDonald's.
Yes.
So, yeah.
As I will say this, as far as a Burger King paint scheme goes, it's certainly one of the better ones.
Oh, I've seen really, yeah, that's probably one of the best ones. But anyway, into second place, Emig being kind of trapped on that outside line. It looks like Carroll's going to try and sneak in underneath there, but no. We got one drop into the apron there. I didn't quite see who that was.
He's had damage, I believe. That is
McCormick
the 35 again. Of Aaron McCormick. Yes,
yeah,
he's now 2 laps down. As we go through on the inside lane, as that's Adam Evans and JP LeBurge working the inside lane, and is going to be at the line. Last week's winner, there Emig, taking the credit for leading that lap, and he's staying up there with that 23 of Boucher as that outside line starts to slide up, and boo, the 8 had a big moment there in the middle of 1 and 2, slid all the way from the outside to the inside, and just like Emig before, able to keep going straight.
You see at the back there, that is Jeff Victory. That's Wes Gallo at the back there, and you've got a big gap all the way back to not Donald Scala. I believe that is McCormack. That's actually, no, it's not McCormack. Who is that?
Josh Patterson in the O2.
Yeah, and they're trying to get themselves back up to the lead pack as quickly as possible. It's kind of working for them, as that is the 18 of Jaden Carter there as well, as they make their way around McCormick again, who's really struggling out there.
I believe McCormick came into the pits there as we see that K9 Toyota Supra there in the back. He's making his first real appearance up here at the front, as we got a couple of 18s now. We got the K on the inside and the red and black 18 on the outside, but this one will go to Adam Meadens as we now are on lap 33 of 50 here. So Sam, as you were mentioning before, it's getting close to time. The gloves are starting to they may not be coming off, but they're certainly starting to untie them and getting ready to peel them off at a moment's notice.
We are just pushed down below the yellow line there. Not sure what happened there, but after the IK9 at number 18 getting a bit out of shape there, but yeah, it's getting down to it, and you're gonna see.
There's 24.
Oh,
24, it hit the apron, and the 1 124 ran right into the back of him. That moves the 24 out, and that clears the 2 and the 23 for the lead as the rest of the field scattered.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think so. I think he just clipped the apron. Did the 24 of Needens. Still no caution here on the speedway, as now it's a 3-car breakaway at the front. As we see the replay, yeah, that's
Still frozen.
there's a clip of the apron from Needens, and he actually has said that in the driver's chat here in the session. He's said clip the apron. Just driving by himself, clips the apron as these three up here at the front. David Emig, Felix Boucher, and Dylan Basin now have broken away, but here comes the rest of the field, and it's led by the 42 of Workman, who is a chase driver. Coming through turn 2 now. You see Workman there in the 42 goes diving to the inside, and Josh Patterson now left leading that outside lane. Only been 2 cautions here at Daytona thus far, and we're about to start lap 36. So we have 15 laps to go when we hit the line here, and Emig now leading, and it's actually kind of calming down at the moment now, Sam.
Dylan Basin moves up to the second line now. They're just coming up to the 55 of Paul Mulrain, and Mulrain got some serious damage on the back of that car. He's only just coming out of pit road after taking repairs. But just on that note there, we're just seeing a lot of breakaways here, a lot of cars dropping back here. None more so than Adam Needens. Needens as all by himself now. That is a big shame there for the 24, but here we go. Here comes Dylan Basin on the outside line now, being pushed by, it looks like Patterson and Granata. Patterson and Granata as they come out of turn 4 down towards the line. And Basin has the clear here. He can go down anytime he wants to, but he was trying to take Patterson with him.
It's always helpful to have a drafting partner, without a doubt, as he will eventually move down to cover off Emig there in the 2. As Emig and Boucher have remained rather inseparable here lately, as that's Workman, LeBurge, and the 43 of Wes Gallo on the inside. It'll be Patterson, Granada, the 18, the actual 18 of Jaden Carter. Now the 4th car on the outside lane as the 42 moves up as we get set to complete lap number 37 here at Daytona. So the lap's winding down here. And for some of those guys in the back, Sam, they are in desperate need of a caution to get back up and a chance to win this race.
Almost, like I said, no more so than Adam Needens. Rob Carroll has dropped right off the pace as well. And he has, I believe that is Workman for company. Workman for company. No, that's a 37 actually. A Fiedler behind him. Jeff Vickery is back there, as well as Donald Scala. These 4 have completely dropped off the pace, as well as Adam Needens is all by himself. And they are going to need a caution to get themselves back up there. As we see, that is Josh Patterson looking to the outside there, being pushed by Paul Granata.
Was being pushed by.
Yeah, Granata just drops the inside line and leaves him out to dry.
Yeah, and you're going to see that now as the first 5 cars are clear here, and it looks as though we've calmed down to the point here where it looks like we're not going to be seeing too many big moves, at least until we get towards the end, as we have 12 laps to go here at Daytona. It's Dylan Basin leading from David Emig, Felix Boucher, Paul Granata, and Josh Patterson. That is the first group, the top 5 group. JP LeBurge, Jaden Carter, Wes Gallo, Spencer, and Kevin Spencer, led by Ethan Workman. In that second group, they're lining up, and they're about to make it again a 10-car group there, Sam.
Yeah, and just an update on your chase standings right now. Emig is in, as things stands right now, Emig is in. Looks like Gallo is in. Patterson is definitely in. LeBurge is in, so that's your 4 right there. So as it stands right now, Emick, Gallo, Patterson and LeBurge are all heading to the Final Four next week.
And that'll be, of course, big for those guys to be able to run for a championship. And this is one of the more difficult championships to win, as it's Daytona. All of these races are a crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to get caught up in an accident. So this is a big championship to be able to win there, bless you. As we as you move on, the consistency is absolutely massive. As we have 10 laps to go here at Daytona, and possibly 10 laps to go for some of these guys to try to make a move. As you said, Wes Gallo in, Ethan Workman is a chase contender. He's sitting right behind him, so you can see the chase just one position ahead as we get down to the final 10 laps here.
Aiden Carter as well is another chase contender, and he is trying to look his way into that Final Four. As they go around, it looks like it was Jeff Vickery they went around just then. Vickery just coming out of pit road, so I wonder if we're going to get a pit stop in before this is over here, Frank.
There's a decent chance of it, I believe. As I look through some of the... No, it doesn't look like there's any... doesn't look like there's any pit... like, I know one of the leagues that we do is they have a 60... you can only fuel up to 65% of the fuel tank, and I'm not seeing anything like that here. So you're right. There could be pit stops coming here, because these guys last made a pit stop on, what was it, lap 13 when the caution came out last. So we're on 30 laps on this tank of fuel, and typically 30 to 35 laps in these Xfinity cars is where you need to stop, Sam.
Less than 10 laps to go here at Daytona, and they will not come to pit road this time. So we're 9 laps to go, just tick it over to 8 laps to go. So I'm wondering if they have enough to make it to the end, actually, at this point, as we're now 8 laps to go at Daytona. And this is the part where things are going to get snippy now. You see them all lined up in a single file. They are regrouping and gearing themselves up for that one final attack here, Frank.
Definitely, it is going to be an absolutely crazy final attack here as we move to the back straightaway. That is the 15 on the inside there of Art Milne. He has gotten out of the way and allowed the lead lap cars to pass through. I believe now that he has a front bumper, I believe he's taken his fast repair, so that will work with him. And also, speaking of the 24, that's if he does get up, how much will that rear end damage affect him? Because Meadens did use his fast repair already, as he was a part of that last caution that had come out. So as we continue on here with 7 laps to go, the guy is still running fairly calm. And Sam, you are 100% right. They are getting ready for that big push to the lead. They're priming, waiting. I'm sure they're talking about it, wondering who's going to go and when.
Carter took a look at the back there, but didn't really go for it, as looks like Basin's starting to kind of spread a gap here as they make their way through turn 3 and 4.
Basin is getting a little bit out ahead of that 2 of David Emick as they come out of corner number 4 here. 6 laps to go here at Daytona as they hit the line, and the cutoff for the playoffs, I believe you said, was Wes Gallo there in the 34 car, the yellow 34 car, which is the 7th car on that inside line. So Gallo, as we're experiencing a couple of more technical issues here, Gallo now goes to the outside. He's pushing JP LeBurge, and the rest of the entire back half of that group has now gone to the outside here as we come to 5 to go, Sam, and they are coming.
Basin trying to fend them off right there. It didn't really work for him as they come through turns 3 and 4 on the LeBurge and Basin. It is between those two for the race win, but crucially for the playoffs here, we've got Workman coming forward as well in that number 42. He's put himself right up in contention as well in that final 4, and this is what it's coming down to. LeBurge, Gallo, Emick, Workman, Carter, and I believe Patterson has fallen No, he's back there. So Patterson on the back of that line. Watch out for him because he's going to try and push forward as well here.
Look at the 15 still hanging back there. He's caught a sniff of that draft. Has Art Milne. He's 4 laps down, but he might play a part in this. Cars trying to get that run. You have 5 on the inside, 5 on the outside. Which line does he go with, and does it give him a lot of help as that outside lane is tightly compacted? I believe here comes some cars. LeBurge is in, Emig is in, the 23 of Boucher is in, and LeBurge has spun in pit road. He overshot pit lane, he got in the grass, and he has spun down pit road. Has the 124 of JP LeBurge. Caution is not out. But LeBurge, I believe you said, one of those playoff drivers. This has essentially just ended his playoff hopes.
Yeah, that's probably going to put an end to his playoff hopes here as he crawls down pit road. He knows that he might have just thrown it away right there as we take a look back at Dylan Basin here coming through turns 3 and 4. Are they going to dive for pit road? The answer is no. So Dylan Basin looking good for a race win here. If he can keep Paul Granata behind him. Jaden Carter is leading the chase contenders now. We are 3 laps to go here. We could have a shock end to this race here, Frank. If they can hold on to the end here, we could see the man that won his way into it last week being knocked out in the round of 10 and not make it into the top 4 because
they're getting lapped right now.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
It's amazing. Like I said, Daytona, the consistency you need to have here is really a major factor in this championship. It's a really difficult championship to win. You think, well, it's Daytona, you just go for it. As we come down now to 2 laps to go, Dylan Basin in the lead, Paul Granata in the black and blue 18 in second, Jaden Carter in the red and black number 18.